Hello, this is webhostingrewind.com with another video helping you pick the best web hosting company for your need. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things web hosting related. Also, click the links in the description to learn more about each web hosting company that is discussed on this channel. These links are affiliate links, and I will receive a small commission if you purchase through the links below. Also, if you purchase using the links below, you will receive exclusive bonuses not offered anywhere else. The commissions go to supporting the channel to continue to provide relevant and unbiased information. In this video, I want to go over the multi-step process to change web hosting providers. One of the misconceptions out there is that once you pick a web hosting provider, you're actually stuck with them. When in reality, you can change them just like you change a pair of socks. If you get frustrated, if they're not providing the level of service that you expect, or if their prices go up outside of your budget or range, you can certainly change it. So I just want to spend a few minutes showing you step by step how I would go about changing or migrating my web hosting provider. Now, the great thing is a lot of web hosting companies out there have free site migration. Basically what that means is if you have a website established and you decide to change, let's say you're going from Bluehost to Namecheap or Namehere or whatever, a lot of the web hosting companies will actually do the migration for you. So they'll create the website on their hosting platform for you. You just have to basically get the files and the data off of your old web hosting company. So like I said, I want to go over with you the multi-step process to go ahead and do that. So the first thing that I would do is I would go ahead and I would back up my website. Now I talk a lot about backing up your data, backing up your website, because in the event the server that you're on is compromised, maybe the web hosting company just breaks for whatever reason, you want to make sure that you have an off-site backup so that you don't lose all of the hard work that you put in. Now, a lot of these companies do have daily or at least weekly backups that are off-site, but it never hurts to have a second backup. Now, here's some backup plugins that I would use or I have used in the past to actually help me save my website off-site. So maybe like I said, a third backup. So the first one that I use and use most frequently is Updraft Plus. Now the great thing with Updraft Plus is it gives you multiple places where you can back up your data. You can back it up to a Google Drive. If you know anything about AWS, you can back it up there. Also, there is Backup Buddy you can use as an option. VaultPress is an option as well, or BackWP Up. Now, the thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is, regardless of the one that you pick, make sure that you set up so that it's backing up daily or at least weekly, again, so that you don't lose some of that important data or content that you've worked very hard to put together. So that's number one. You want to make sure that you go ahead and you back everything up. The second thing that I would do is I would actually start looking for different web hosting providers that are suitable, that are meeting your needs. Now, there is a reason why you're leaving your previous web hosting provider. Take that into account when you are looking at your new web hosting provider. You always want to make sure that you have a plan and a backup plan. And what I would also do too, this is actually part of step 3, is I would actually contact your current web hosting provider and tell them that you're planning to leave. If you're planning to leave because of price, they may actually offer you a special or discounted rate to keep you around. That's called a retention offer. Now, they don't necessarily do that all the time, but depending on the size of the web hosting company and everything that's going on, they actually may offer you a discounted rate. They may extend your introductory plan for another year or two. So certainly contact them, reach out to them. If it's based on price, maybe customer service, whatever, contact your current web hosting provider and just let them know that you're planning on leaving unless you offer a rate, and then have some numbers to back it up. For example, let's say you're leaving, again, Bluehost, and they say, hey, why are you leaving? Oh, I'm thinking about going over to SiteGround or Namehero or Namecheap or whatever, because they're able to offer me this price for this level of service. Most of the time, again, if you get a hold of the retention department, they're going to have comparable offers and you can actually stay around for relatively cheap. So that is step number 2 and 3. What I'd also do too is I'd actually go through and record important information, because once you are off of the previous hosting provider, they basically kind of just excommunicate you. They delete everything from you, and they make it difficult to kind of go ahead and get any information or data. What I'd also do is I'd keep track of any usernames and passwords with regards to emails, and if you have multiple websites, make sure that you have all of that stuff written down and retained somewhere. The next step obviously is to pick and choose a web hosting provider. Again, you want to make sure that you're finding something that's either comparable to what you already have or even a step up. After that, I would send a note out to your current email subscribers and just let them know that you are planning on migrating web hosts, and you may see some problems, some delay in traffic. Never fear, you will let them know that when it's back up online. What I'd also do too is possibly install a plugin, at least that notifies your customers that you are going to be going through a change, and to expect some delays. The delays will be temporary, and you apologize for any inconvenience. We're under construction, so to speak. The next step is to reach out to your new hosting provider and ask them the type of website or type of file they need in order to migrate the site. Now, every web hosting provider is different, and some might just need a zip file, some might need some different type of file. Make sure that you get exactly what you need so that when you reach out to your old hosting provider, you can give them the exact information that they need. And this can actually cause some problems. Some hosting providers need something that's a little bit different, and they can make the migration a little bit of a challenge. Also, too, if we're being perfectly honest, people hate to lose a customer, so they're not going to be ready and willing and able, so to speak, to just go ahead and migrate you over. So the next step, once you figure out, or once you contact your new hosting provider and figure out exactly type of file that you need to migrate over, contact your old hosting provider and ask them for that file. While you can do this via chat, and I've done it via chat, for some reason it gets lost in translation. What I would do is I would contact them maybe over the phone. Over the phone, quite honestly, can also get you some better discounts and deals, but contact them over the phone and explain to them the exact file that you need. Oftentimes what they'll do is they'll say, if it's via chat, they'll put you on hold, or they'll say, let me follow up with you and I'll send you the email that you need, or I'll send you a notification when it's ready. Unfortunately, it seems like when you do this, it kind of gets lost in the mail. It takes a little bit longer than it needs to. What I would recommend that you do is stay in the chat or stay on the phone until they're able to produce the type of file that you need. Again, it doesn't really take that long to create a zip file if that's what they're requesting. It can take a little bit longer to create some other file types, but if we're being perfectly honest, it shouldn't really take that long. Also ask to speak to a level 2 or level 3 support if that first level isn't able to completely understand what you're asking for. So make sure that you reach out to your old hosting provider, ask for the exact file type that you need, have them mail it to you or have them put it in a Google Drive, whatever works best. And now that you have that file, go back over to your new web hosting provider and say, here's the file. Can you migrate my site? Usually site migrations can take up to 24 to 48 hours depending on the web hosting provider, but once that's done, your website should work. The final thing that you may need to do is you may need to change your name servers. Basically what that means is you're changing the address that your domain name is being pointed at. For example, your old web hosting provider might be at 1234567. Your new web hosting provider could be at 987654321. And so once you change that, it should flip the switch and traffic should go to your new web hosting provider. Before you cancel your old web hosting provider, I would just wait a month, wait a few weeks just to make sure there aren't any issues. People are able to navigate to your website as normal. I'd also try and navigate to the website yourself. Try using different computers, different web browsers, even try a VPN and logging in from different parts of the world, because you want to make sure that there are absolutely no hiccups before you cancel your old provider. If everything's working after a week or two, feel free to go ahead and cancel that old provider. Now, one issue that you may run into is if you cancel the old provider outside of the first 30-day window, you cannot get your money back. Now, this will vary depending on the web hosting provider, and quite frankly, it depends on how much you fight and complain. So be aware that some web hosting providers have a 30-day cashback guarantee, and after that 30 days, it's kind of too bad so sad. They don't offer a prorated, they don't offer even partial months or partial year. They'll tell you too bad. So if you sign up for a 3-year contract with a company and it's outside the 30-day cashback guarantee, they're not going to be ready, willing to return your money. What you may need to do is you may need to escalate the issue. Keep fighting. If the money is substantial, let's say we're talking about $50, $100, if it is substantial, I would try and keep fighting tooth and nail until I could get that money back. So just to review, the steps that I would go through is first back up your website, Then do your research, see if you can find web hosting companies that offer the same or better service for cheaper. I would contact your current or old web hosting provider and see if they're able to offer you any discounts via their retention department. If they're not willing or able to offer you any discounts, then you can proceed on to setting up your new web hosting provider. Once you find a new web hosting provider, you want to figure out the exact file type they need to migrate the service over. Once you do that, go back to your old web hosting provider, ask them for the exact file type. I recommend doing it over the phone. Chat will work, but it seems that working over the phone is a little bit easier. Once you get the information, give the file to your new web hosting provider. They're going to set everything up. Then you'll probably need to change your name servers. Once you change your name servers, wait a few weeks to make sure everything's working as needed. Then the last step is to cancel or disconnect your previous web hosting provider. Again, remember, you may not get any money back depending on if you're outside of that 30-day window, or if you complain enough. To learn more about this web hosting company or any other web hosting company discussed on this channel, be sure to check out the links in the description. Once again, this is Web Hosting Rewind, helping you pick the best web hosting company for your needs. Also, if you purchase using the links below, you will receive exclusive bonuses not offered anywhere else. The commissions go to supporting the channel to continue to provide relevant and unbiased information. Thank you and have a great night.